How's it going, fam? Welcome back to Erica's EDC, and today we're going to do a video that I didn't think I would ever make. I made a video yesterday, kind of at the end, hinting that things are a little tricky right now, and the amount of people that, sent good vibes, sent prayers, all that stuff, it was really touching. And I had mentioned that I never really talk about my personal life on the channel, and I was kind of tossing that idea around in my head, the fact that I just try to avoid it for the most part. So this morning I woke up at 7:30 right now. I have my coffee, and it's very chilly in New Hampshire. I woke up this morning just kind of inspired to maybe just open up about it and get it over with, because I think it's important to share maybe the not so good sides of life as well as the good sides. You guys see a lot of the good stuff. You see the knife testing and the fun that I have with the leather work and all of the ups. But I think it's important to know people's downfalls as well, because it helps you understand them as a whole person, not just the face value of someone, I guess. So, like I said, it's 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday. We're absolutely blessed. I have coffee. We're gonna just kind of talk about that. I still have bedhead. I haven't even gotten ready. So I just kind of want to explain why I said that yesterday any good vibes, prayers, whatever would be helpful. So just a little bit of a backstory here. That way you really understand what's going on. My life has been very interesting. I'm not going to say it's been bad, but it sure has been interesting. And I've battled a lot of things. Addiction, homelessness, kind of everything that you can think of. And when I was a kid, when I was 12 actually, an addiction started up for me with Oxycontin when I was 12. The person that gave it to me, I'm not going to mention, but it was someone that probably as a guardian shouldn't have, and it started a very vicious addiction for me from the time I was a 12-year-old child all the way until I was about 18. With that being said, battling a pill addiction in middle school and high school, as I got into high school, things really started to get tricky for me. And the day after my 17th birthday, my mom had me meet her at the grocery store. I had not been home in a little while. She had me meet her at the grocery store after my birthday, and she had tricked me into thinking that she was gonna say happy birthday and stuff. But in reality, when I got there with Nicole Dodge, actually, and her twin sister Mariah, she ended up giving me away to a local family that said they would take me in. And then I went to that family. It was a friend of mine from school. I don't think she'll mind me saying her name, Kayla. Kayla, you're an OG. I love you. You're amazing. I ended up living with Kayla for a while, and her grandmother said that we could each get a puppy from a friend, because we were just kind of really struggling. The house was it should have been condemned. The whole place was awful. We were just struggling as kids, and we were told that we could each get a free puppy to have a friend. But then when we got home with the puppies, they were like, Kayla, you get to keep yours. Erica, you don't get to keep yours. And I had already bonded with him, King, who's tattooed on my neck. Rest in peace. I had already bonded with him so much, as a 17-year-old kid, that I was like, there's no way I can get rid of him. So I ended up having to leave that place, and I just, couch hopped for a while going to school. And eventually, I kind of ran out of places to go, and a high school teacher who was my professor for early childhood education took me in. Miss Horan, talk about a blessed soul. She ended up taking me in because I had a caseworker at school and stuff, and a therapist and everything, and she took me in, and I got to live with her. But then of course that fell apart eventually, because once kids found out I was living with a teacher, that's not legal, at least in New Hampshire. You can't be a teacher and then have a student living with you. So then once that got found out, I had to leave there too and stuff, and couch hopping again and just trying to find someone to take me in. Eventually I had to reach out to my father, and I was like, can I please have a place to stay? And he was like, no, I don't want you, but I'll take the dog. So my own father literally would not let me live with him as a child, and took King instead, and left me on the streets. Needless to say, that cycle of failure has followed me my entire life. So I just turned 29 a week ago. And my whole point is, in my opinion, when children aren't set up for success from their parents, it can be very hard later on in life for them to find the resources to be successful. So, and I'm not making excuses. I mean, I'm clean. I have not used, I stopped using pills when I was 18. I relapsed one time when I was I want to say 21 or 22. And then I really never went back. So clean from pills. So I'd have that going for me, but escaping that vicious cycle of just not really knowing what you're supposed to do in life can be hard. And like I said, I'm not making excuses. I mean, I pay my bills, and I am clean, and I am a good person now, and doing all the things I can to succeed. But that root trauma, I guess we could say, and that was just the surface. The root trauma never goes away, and when you don't have the resources to get ahead of yourself, you're kind of just constantly treading water. And that's what my life has been, and that's what it is. So I think it's very easy for people to speculate from the outside and be like, well, why don't you just ask your dad for help? Why don't you just ask your mom? You can't when you don't have a relationship with them, and they would never do anything for you anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I am not talking poorly about my parents. I love them both, and I wish them both the best. But again, you can't just look at somebody at face value and judge them. There are some people that make it look like they're doing well, and they could really be struggling and having those demons haunting them. And I'm one of those people. I just can't escape that vicious cycle of not having the resources to do what I need to do, and not knowing almost. And I try, don't get me wrong. I'm okay. It's just the living situation has been an issue for me since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? That's just a constant issue. Yeah, and I've done a lot of work on myself. I think when you have parents that mess up as on a large scale like mine did, I mean, when you don't work through that trauma with a professional, again, it can be very, very difficult. It's just something that I have a really hard time with, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I guess I just wanted to share a little bit of backstory about that, because like I said, we just don't get to see this side of makers or people or influencers very often, and I don't think it's fair for me to ask for prayers and good vibes and stuff if you guys don't understand what's going on. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just hard, I guess, when you just don't know. It's not that I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I do know. I guess I try, and it's you just can't win. The leatherwork thing, I started up the leatherwork, and because the guy that owns the house that I'm staying in, I'm living in a storage unit above the garage. The guy won't allow me to do the leather work. He's saying it's illegal. So it's like you try, right? You try to get ahead and you try to do things, and you just, every time that you start something up or try, it fails. You know, like it's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand how doing leather work is illegal, especially because I've taken all the steps to make sure it's not. Like, I'm just doing a hobby. He won't let me do it. So I have to leave the property to go do it now. Yeah. I don't know. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. It's just so, it's just like draining when you just keep trying and trying and trying, and it just doesn't get you anywhere. And that's not to say I'm not grateful for what I have. Like, I'm so glad that I have a roof over my head now. For the time being, that is also very much going away. But at least for today, just for today, I learned that in AA, just for today, I do have a roof. I'm not in the camper anymore. That was living hell. That was living hell, living in a camper with no electricity and no bathroom and everything like that for a year. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. I'm figuring I will post this video. Maybe I won't. I'm figuring I will, but if people seem okay on the outside, maybe sometimes they're not. And yeah, I guess it's kind of a video to like say don't judge a book by its cover, you know? Because like I said, I try to be happy all the time and like make videos for you guys that you enjoy and do the silly your mom jokes and stuff like that, but on the inside, it is a living hell trying to get out of... Oh wow, I'm getting emotional now. This is ridiculous. It's a living hell trying to escape that trauma. And when you're just constantly in survival mode, trying to have a roof over your head and an income and just trying to scrape by, it can just get a lot sometimes, you know? Especially when, again, you can't reach out... Like, normal people can reach out to the parents and, like, have a place to go or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, normal kids, I feel like, don't get addicted to Oxycontin at 12 years old and have both of their parents be like, well, I don't want you here. Go find somewhere else. I'm going to give you away in a parking lot. You have to go live with a teacher. By the way, I did graduate high school early. I'm not, like, a complete loser. And I'm not saying that people that don't graduate, I'm not saying that they're losers. I'm just saying I graduated high school with top-notch GPA and went to college. I took classes through Nashua Community College for early childhood education. That's why I was a teacher for so long. So, I have accomplished things in my life, given the circumstances. But again, you know, when you're a 17-year-old kid and you're told to fuck off and you're just constantly not having a place to live, and not having those tools and the money and the resources to do things, like, it's just hard, you know? And even as a kid, even sleeping on the streets, I still went to my job every single day. Like, still did everything I was supposed to do. But, yeah, it's hard to get ahead, I guess. I know a lot of this sounds crazy, and like I said, this is just like scraping the surface of my fucking life. Nicole was actually there for a lot of it. We met in high school and we became best friends, so she's been my friend for like 14 dang years or something. And she was there for all of this. Like, I swear to God, you can ask her. I lived at my teacher's house. I was on the streets. I was living in a car for a little while, and she was there as my best friend through the whole thing. We ended up actually going cross country to visit that teacher a little while after when the whole thing happened with me living with her, and everyone found out, she ended up kind of like bailing. She moved all the way across the U.S. to Oregon, and we ended up going and visiting her in my RAV4 later on in life, which was really cool. I should post pictures of that sometime. But yeah, no, it really all did happen. Like Nicole was there with me for the whole thing. She'll probably be down in the comments being like, you're amazing, keep your head up, because she's just a beautiful soul. But I am grateful for what I do have now. I have you guys, I have the channel, I have beautiful connections, I have Nikki. But that does not mean that just because everything looks peachy on the outside, it does not mean that it is on the inside. Like, I just wish I don't have health insurance, obviously, so I wish that I had access to like healthcare or something, or like therapy, or I don't know, that would be nice. Because clearly I just can't get ahead of myself here. It's just a constant struggle for housing, and yeah. But anyway, I hope that this all kind of makes sense, and I hope it gives some some backstory and some clarity here, because like even the happy people struggle, and yeah, sometimes we just need a little extra prayer, or a little extra good vibe, or a little extra something. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys listening. The next video will definitely be a knife video, if this even goes up. I'll see you guys soon. I love you so much. Take care.